the other day we did basically stop and guard pulling, right? Today we're going to do counter takedowns. Both of those are reactive skills. You should prioritize taking someone down or pulling guard yourself. And those are proactive, like you're initiating. Initiation always has a head of being reactive. However, it's still a skill that one should learn. And if you're lazy like me, this is really all you ever do. I only ever do basically counter takedowns. Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay, so general principle when doing counter takedowns, we want either to isolate the neck or we want to isolate an arm or a leg. The leg's just harder to do because you're standing, right? And in when we talk about the isolation, we're looking to basically dominate the top of the back positioning because we are standing and we want someone underneath us, right? Or we want to be so far to the point where they are rotated to where we have exposures back to our chest. What does that look like? Well, your most common one that everyone wants to teach you how to do is either single leg or double leg. So your choice, sir. I don't really care either or. Okay, so he's going for the double. We see the double, all right? How does everyone tell you how to stop it, right? We down block. What are we causing? Causing the grip to not be able to functionally wrap around us, right? If it wraps around us, we're kind of in trouble, right? But even that we can address. But we're down blocking, right? We're getting our hip away. We don't have to get both of them. We only have to give one of them away because I can do what? Put the pressure down, right? So these all follow the same general principle, and you see I'm trying to remove his ability to connect his hands. So I'm going to try to isolate limbs out, right? The further away his limbs are from his body, the weaker they're going to get during this takedown. So I'm obviously going to try to make space, right? Dominate the top position, right? Where I am putting weight down, having the effect on his body, where he's not having an effect on mine, right? And these hands should be working on trying to isolate these other hands away from his body, whether that is chopping up, right? Or pulling around, right? So like if I shot like this, you see how all those have an effect, right? Or even just shoving his head down, right? If he's still trying to shoehorn out or anything like that, I can have this ability to make sure his limbs start to separate from his body. So we're looking for the core concepts of what we're doing. So now we do single leg, right? They attach to the single leg. What do? Same general concept, right? I'm looking to reinforce to make sure that the grip can't dominate me, right? So I'm gonna take it, start to try to isolate his limb. Right, now it's less supported. It's still supported, right? People don't realize that leg's there, right? I'm looking to take away that support, dominate the top positioning, right? Because I don't want to be over here and him getting on top of me. Easy win for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can circle through, start to isolate again. Or I can stay here, work to the outside, and you see how I'm again causing the same type of rotation that I can get the access to the back. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, assuming we don't want to do more work than necessary, in the process of these, we can do the same concepts. So he shakes a double leg, right? I'm working that same concept, except now I have the submission, and now I get to either choose to walk in and let him take my hips away, right? Or to either step back and set up my own submissions in that fashion, right? Or he's going for the single leg, same concept, right? Same attachment, right? But even if I choose to attack the limb and I'm early, I can do it. Does that make sense? Okay, so the limb isolation is one of the biggest part of counter wrestling, and this goes for feet as well. So if I was here, inside leg trip. So you see how he's able to dominate the grip fight there, right? And what happens? Boom, I fall over, right? Well, if he goes for inside leg trip, this is counter wrestling. I'm following the same principles, right? I'm looking to get his posture lower than mine. I'm looking to get back here, right? But why did it actually work, right? For the inside leg trip, he's looking to do what? He's looking to pull my leg and push my body. If I add rotation into that, this changes drastically.
You're just making the other foot lighter? Yeah.
I'm taking a step. Now if he drives into me, all he's doing is basically planting me like this, which still can give me a knee tap, etc., blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I can still easily fall, but I have a much higher chance of engaging in the dog fight than I would if I stayed straight on with him. He leg trips, I'm not in balance, right? So there are times to add rotation and to remove rotation, but they're based on the goals of your opponent, right? So what we're looking for is whatever that attack that they're going for, let's say it's inside leg trip, right? If I rotate, this inside leg trip is no longer valuable. And in fact, if I literally took another step forward, he could take a field trip, or I can follow the same principles of keep trying to isolate, or end up on top. Does that make sense? Yeah. Those are really all the core basis of it. Now, a more technical way of looking at it is, what do you want to do? What takedown do you think feel it?
The double.
Double? Okay. So for the double, if we look at it, same core principles, right? We're now going to do like a cow catcher or any of that nature. Because we're very early.
Yeah.
Right? This is very early, not late. So early here, I'm going to grab, kind of shoot, right? And I'm going to drive in, and I'm going to turn, right? And I'm just following to my hip because we are engaging into the ground. We don't have to, we're just choosing to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you throw on that as like a butterfly sweep almost, right? When you're coming down, like you're.
You can't use it like a scissor.
Or you're putting that foot on his thigh when you're bringing him over for the sweep.
Depends what my goal is, right? If I am here, I'm gonna block his ability to post and for him to gain inside positioning with his knee. If he brought his knee up right now, obviously he's on it. But if we start rotating and I don't fill that space, that's where my dick is.
Right.
It's a little preemptive for me, you know what I mean? So like if I use that other foot and I cover it, there's no way for him to gain that inside space. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm here, like so, right, and I'm like, boom.
So 100% sweet.
That
Right.
it is. Now, we'll obviously do that one, but I want you to see something that like very late stage, if you want something that still follows the same principles, he goes, right, he's gonna get all the way wrapped around me. Right, all I'm going to do is while he's taking me down, I'm literally just gonna tuck my hand and I'm gonna grab one of his heels. Does that make sense? So he keeps taking me down. You see this? Very late stage, follows the same principles. His legs can't dominate around me, right? And I'm looking to get to the back exposure.
So you said you're grabbing one of his heels, and where else did you grab?
I tuck my hand underneath on his body, mainly so like when we're rolling, I'm not rolling over my arm and my neck. We're just gonna roll over my shoulder. Very simple, just here, here. And you roll in the top position. Adding rotation. Because they want to take you straight most of the time, linear. And if they do take you sideways, it just feeds deeper into this. Tracking?
Go over the top.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, I'm not waiting for them to finish the takedown. I'm like trying to go along with it and go further than they want to.
Okay.
Okay. So next we'll do the singly leg. That way we can see some of the easy aspects of it. So single leg, anyone who tells you that like you don't want to do like the very core basic aspect of controlling here, controlling the head, they're wrong, right? People who are like, oh, reach over. By the time you have reached over or any of that kind of stuff, you are probably already on the ground.
I usually just push that.
Yep, push the head, right? And try to dominate this spot right here. If their elbows are super tight, right, and you cannot, that means you can choke the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Right? So anyone who's doing it, they're gonna give you space to basically grab your thigh. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when we're here, we're gonna control, we're gonna push, right? We don't want this head to be looking at us. And we have two options, right, as far as directions we want to travel. We can either travel on the outward, or we can travel on the inward, right? Which means down, basically, right? Because we don't want to leave our leg up and get drive in the center of them, because if he just drives forward, then I end up on the ground again, right? But if I come in and I drive down, we're in front headlock. Front headlock's very good, very easy position, right? Same concept though. Now I'm on the outside. But controlling the head and this elbow is pretty much the key, but just touching them is not the answer. You need to be able to drop weight anywhere on this axis. If you go too far over, you're going to take a field trip when they rotate you. If you go too little and you have very little access, like control, they're still going to have every effect. So we're looking for the shoulder pocket, right? So we're here, boom, right? I want some effect, even if I'm not using my hand, my upper body should be affecting it, right? If I try to do that same thing on the edge of it, I'm not doing any good, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have to find where it's having the actual effect on his back. Does that make sense?
Yep.
This is what you would call like a haptic thing, but regardless, we need that ability to basically push them down, drive them down. We want to separate the connection and to isolate a limb again, right? His limbs are strong and connected. We want to get them a little more isolated, broken down. So here, right, we're like, oh shit. Press the head, control the inside positioning. Your choice to circle out. I think circling out is more powerful. And just step down if you want to get out of it, right? Now we have limb and isolation. We have on top positioning, right? If I wanted to take him into the front headlock, I can. If I wanted to take him down, we can.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I just want you to work on that very basic concept. Connect, right? Get the under positioning, press their head, get top positioning, either circle out, and if you circle in, drive it. Make sense?
Yep.
Anything to add? Cool. Let's do it. Okay, so you saw basically anti-wrestling there. So now we're going to do a little bit of anti-judo, right? If he's taking, like, so this is the anti-wrestling aspect. People are always looking to attack your legs. What about your upper body, right? Well, when we're looking at upper bodies, we're still looking to dominate the same way, right? Same type of isolation, same type of, like, body control. You see how I'm trying to get his head lower than my head? I'm trying to get it to where I can dominate this type of space, or if I break that posturing, I can now engage in a type of basically counter takedowns. So we're looking at what type of connection we get, and this determines what we do. I will sometimes do this. This is a no-no when we know that this person wants to take us down. Okay? So anytime that we remove one of our pillars that are helping us stand, this is a no-no. Now, let's just say he keeps going. Right? He gets deeper into it. Boom. What is making him win right now?
Hips.
Partially, look at my body positioning, right? So if I can dismantle this air quote by taking a cross step, right? Doing the same principles, we can win. However, right? When we're here, we get deeper into it, right? He steps across, right? We have the option, right, of also attacking his hips. If we had a better positioning, and he tried this, who's winning? I simply pull him towards him, right? Or pull him away, right? Because he wants to be able to rotate. It's harder to rotate like that. So I know that this is the effect that he's looking for, is to rotate. Because he's not looking to drive me down like this.
Right.
He could try, but I could always be walking with him, right? He's looking to rotate me to bring me down. So I'm looking for things that are either going to overfeed the rotation, right? So like if I leaped when he was doing this, which I will not be doing because I'm lazy as fuck, right? Or if I'm coming in and he tries to, now he can't rotate, right? And I now know that my ability to impact that, so you can, right? I know my ability to impact that is greater, and I now know that he doesn't want to be continually driven this direction, so I can keep going. Does that make sense? Right, so anything that your opponent is looking to do, you're looking to do the opposite effect, right? They want to rotate, we want to do linear movements. Side to side or front to back, we want to shut down any type of rotational effect. If they're looking to drive us, right, down, we want to add some form of rotation. Make sense? Okay, and then as far as gripping goes, gripping is how it's always going to be. You have to dominate whatever grip is holding you, right? This grip is actually doing very little, right? Because he's not like pulling, causing tension. Now that he's pulling, causing tension, right? These are things I either have to address or don't, right? Depends on what effect I'm looking for. Because like, cool, am I having an effect on him? I'm really not. I'm holding him, but there's no effect. He's still just holding me,
So
controlling me,
same grip he wants.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now this grip, if he chooses to stand up, he can, right? He chooses to drive down, he can. So like, this grip is the actual grip that's doing something. So my ability to affect this grip is priority. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sweating. Right? So whatever grip is the main grip should probably be the priority for you to attack. And that goes like, if you look at double legs, there's always a main grip, right? We look at double leg, they're driving. What do you think the main grip is going to be? It's not this one, right? If it was this one, my head would be on the other side. Does that make sense? Now, single leg, same concept. There's always a main grip, right? Which one's actually controlling the leg?
Right.
It's this one, right? So there's always one main grip when you're looking at what's happening, right? If I wanted him to turn, this becomes the main grip. You can feel the effect on the body, right? If I'm pushing it like this, I'm like, ooh, nice. I'm arm drag, right? But if I'm doing this, this is the main grip. Does that make sense?
No.
Perfect. So prioritize attacking the main grip, and then either denying rotation by having linear movement, or adding rotation into linear movements. Does that make sense? Perfect. So, whichever shoe you really want.
I'll go here. This is where I.
All right. So we see this movement, right? He's getting me loaded. Now it's too late, right? Anytime before this, not too late, right? If I know he wants to rotate me, I simply add rotation too early. What happens? Can take the throw. Right? Let's say he goes for it. Right? He's here. Yeah. And then see now, because we went into rotational, he chose a linear attack, which is straight back and forth. Does that make sense? So now I would either add rotation back into that again, right? If we're here, he's trying to feed it. I'm back, right? However, we don't want to stay on the defensive cycle. So we eventually want to break that. Okay? Easy. All right, go pray.